Okay, hi guys, welcome back to our video. Today we got to test ride this Rebel 500. This is the very little few options that you have for a Japanese made cruiser nowadays, because the cruiser market is mainly dominated by the American brands, which is the Harley Davidson. So this is one of the few that you can find, and it's a 500cc. So there's also a 1100 coming out. We hope to try that one soon. So let us take a look at this bike. So this is the red color. It has the very retro design, the key slot still at the side, and then you have your handlebar lock here. So it has a very minimalist look. So it has this very signature 4-dot LED light. So it has a round signal light. So it's a very retro inspired design, and also with the round mirrors. I noticed that the passenger seat is a bit small. I think if you sit on it without backrest, it feels very insecure. As you can see, okay, it's like half of my butt size. Okay, so sitting on it, the bike is pretty low. The seat is quite comfortable. It wraps your butt quite nicely, and the handlebar is a bit forward. The clutch is not heavy. It's pretty nice to press on. So the pegs are in middle control instead of the forward control. So I would say this is not the best posture for cruiser, because cruiser are meant to be relaxed, so forward control like that to let you have more leg rooms. And now we turn on the bike. So it has this Rebel sign. It has a gear indicator, okay, your time and then speed. Very basic kind of instruments here. Trip A, trip B. So the average fuel consumption, we reset this, and then we try to check out later. So turn on. Okay, it has a very mellow V-twin sound because it's a parallel twin, so it has that vibe that we are looking for, but not sure whether it's the same on higher rev. Oh, okay, the foot peg actually hits my leg when I'm walking with the bike. Okay, so when you're walking with the bike, you will hit your leg on the foot peg, which is not very nice because it's a 90-degree bend instead of the traditional forward control. Okay, I would say forward control, something like that would be really nice for the bike. Okay, the other thing is this crank cover. Okay, it's still protruding out, or the foot peg is too near to it, so that's something I find a bit uncomfortable. It's not a deal breaker, it's just that every time you lift your leg, you will touch this part here. Luckily, the cover is not hot, which is a very thoughtful kind of design. Okay, the instrumental cluster are quite simple. You can also see high beam, low beam, horn, signal, your Q switch, hazard light, and your ignition. So nothing like what your ABS on off, your traction control on off. So it's a very straightforward bike. Okay, traveling in slow speed is okay. I'm not using any half clutch control, so which is good. And it's not very jerky also if you are traveling at slow speed. Okay, the gear one is very short. You will reach its limit almost like in 20 kilometers. So you see gear 1, 22. And here is very grumpy. And so you have to shift to gear 2 fairly quickly. The gear 2 is a very nice gear to cruise around in very slow speed. You see now I'm at 21. I don't feel the jerkiness. Okay. Okay, the rear brake is quite good. It's quite sharp. I think the first two gears maybe the first three gears are quite short because it maxes out quite quickly. Probably we can try it on the highway on the 4th, 5th, 6th gears and see how it goes. Okay, I'm concerned about the turning because the foot peg is quite low, so I don't want to scrape the foot peg. This bike has a fat tire, so it does provide stability when you are traveling on a straight line, which is very good because you don't need a lot of balancing here and there. Okay, I just find the foot peg position is a bit weird. Okay, maybe I'm not used to cruiser, or maybe it has been a decade long since I rode a cruiser. And now we are gear 460, gear 5 at 90. So the main purpose of having a cruiser is to cruise on constant highways or constant straight. Not particularly straight per se, but mainly routes that are less curvy. Okay, we are cruising at 90. Let's try if it still has a little bit more run left. Okay, there's an upslope here. Okay, yes, there's still a little bit of punch left inside. This is a mid-sized cruiser. When you're riding a cruiser, of course, you need to know that the wind protection is close to zero. I feel a lot of wind when you're cruising at highway speed. Okay, the bike is quite stable because I guess it's low and the tire is huge, so it provides a lot of stability. Okay, you can't turn really very low. The one thing I noticed is the V-twin sound just disappeared when you're on a higher speed. So to say that the muffler or the exhaust note is pretty soft, higher speed you can't hear anything. It's a very quiet exhaust. Or maybe our rev is not high enough to hear. Okay, so let's try a U-turn and see how it goes. Okay, the turning radius, not bad, not bad. I can start to feel the warmness of the engine. Okay, it's not hot, it's just like a light breeze of warm air passing through your calf. Yep, basically on higher rev, the muffler sounds sort of like got mute off, so it's not that grumpy anymore. You only hear back the grumpiness when you close the throttle. So when you ride on a bigger size cruiser, automatically you have that badass image. It used to be very counterculture, so if you are someone that doesn't conform to the norm, you ride a cruiser. I guess that's why they call it the Rebel many years ago. You will feel vibrations on your handlebar. It's not serious vibration, but that numbness feeling on the handlebar when you are on higher rev. So now I don't feel it because I close the throttle. Okay, once I open it up like 50%, I can feel it immediately, the tingling feeling. Okay, we got enough of the highway, so now we are going back to smaller route. So let us try the braking system. Okay, the brakes are not bad. Okay, the cornering is a tough fight. You need to really push the bike down in order to get it to lean down. I guess it's also because of the fatter tires. So the bike doesn't really want to lean that much as compared to your sportier profile tires. I think the only missed opportunity here for this Rebel 500 is if it's a 400cc, I think it will be very popular in Singapore because the 500cc is really not here and not there. And if you ask my honest opinion, I don't feel the class 2 kind of vibe on this motorbike. Okay, if you tell me it's a class 2A, I can gladly accept the power delivery and the performance side of the bike. But if you tell me it's a class 2, it's an open class, then I felt that it's a little bit too short of being an open class. Okay, the engine is pretty hot somewhere here. The radiator fan is on. Okay, if it's on, this is quite decent. I can put my hand here. for maybe 5 seconds before I really feel it's quite hot. Other than that, it's okay. So radiator fan only blows on the right side. Okay. It really doesn't like to bend a lot. You have to really push it down in order to get it into angle. And the foot peg is really something you need to get used to because constantly you will hit your calf at the edge of the pack. The other thing is that the tank is teardrop tank. It looks like a water droplet, so it's pretty small. You never grip it. You just ride it with your leg open like a scooter. So if you grab it, you are very close to the engine case. You might get the warm warning. Oh. The suspension is a little bit short, so you can see almost like every unevenness on the tarmac surface. But the front suspension, I think, is a little bit soft. You see a lot of nose dive in light breakings. Uh, Engine brake is decent, not very aggressive. I find that the handlebar is slightly forward, so you need to bend forward in order to reach it. It will be perfect if it's like that. So I can sit upright. There's no tachometer here, so we don't know the rev. But generally, I'm only using like 15% of the throttle. The bike doesn't feel like it's struggling, so it's a bike that you can really cruise at a slower speed and enjoy the scenery. Squeezing through traffic is not an issue. The bike is quite light. Once you stop, you will feel weird because the foot peg is hitting onto your calf. After riding it for a while, you kind of realize that this is actually quite a pleasant bike to ride, except it needs some improvements on the ergonomics. It's a bike that you don't need to push to a certain level in order to utilize it correctly. You can ride it slow, you can ride it slightly faster. It's very beginner friendly, so if you are new to class 2 or you just want a relaxed bike for class 2 with a slightly higher horsepower on Singapore road, this might be a good choice. And of course, precondition is you are not someone that likes to do cornering. The cruiser is not meant to do that, but it has a lot of styling points, so that's a plus point. We try if we can move off at gear 3 to check if it has the torque. It's not very torquey, so you still need to do a lot of half clutch to manage the power output. Let's try on the, it's very difficult to full lock because it's quite far of reach while you're on the move, because you can see that you're already a little bit reach out. So if you do this, you are moving your whole body over to the front and to the side that you want to full lock your turn on. So it creates a little bit of instability. So that's why it's not a curving machine. Although it's very easy to control on low speed, straight. If it's this kind of like a very small, narrow road, then it's a bit tough. You need a lot of balancing here and there. Okay, you see it doesn't like to move a lot. It always brings you up straight. Good for stability, but it's not very agile. It's a cruiser, so it's supposed to cruise, not a scooter to be squeezing through tight traffic at a very slow speed. After sitting for a while, the seat is not the firmest that I have sat on. I'm not too sure if it's on a longer ride how it will feel. The coverage is good. It means the surface area and the cutting on is good, but I don't think it has a lot of support, the firmness or the thickness of the sponge to hold you up over a long period of time. There's one more thing I want to show you guys on is that this is the rectifier. Okay, basically it's mounted below the bike, which is very close to the rear wheel. That's something that I am pretty concerned about. If you are going up a very sharp hump or some gravel road where your rectifier gets scraped or damaged or hit or dropped, so I think that's something we need to look into to reposition. I don't know whether all the cruiser are done this way or this particular one. Okay, so we forget to talk about the fuel consumption earlier. So the fuel consumption is about 30 kilometer per liter plus minus day. So it's very decent for a class 2 bike. So alright guys, that's the end of the test ride for this Rebel 500. Hope to see you on the next video again. Thank you. See you. Bye bye.